Hello students, welcome to the course Atoms and Molecules for MSc Physics Semester 2 as per the revised syllabus of Savitribai Phule Pune University CBCS 2019 pattern. So we are studying our second module molecules. In the previous lecture we have studied the rotational spectra of a diatomic molecule and vibrational spectra of a diatomic molecule. In the today's lecture we will study the vibrational core structure. In the previous lecture, we have learned about the pure rotational spectra and pure vibrational spectra of the diatomic molecule. When the two atoms of a diatomic molecule undergo vibrations about their mean position, there will be change in the vibrational energy levels of the molecule. In addition to the vibration, the diatomic molecule can rotate about an axis passing through its center of mass. This rotational motion also undergo change in the rotational energy levels of the molecule. On the basis of Born-Oppenheimer approximation, the total energy of the molecule consists of E total is equal to E electronic plus E vibrational plus E rotation. That means the total energy that corresponds to the electronic transitions, that means the transition between the electronic energy levels, plus the vibrational transitions, that means the transition between the vibrational energy levels, and the rotational transitions, that means the transition between the rotational energy levels. So this equation implies that the electronic, vibrational and rotational energies of a molecule are completely independent of each other. Change in the total energy may be written as delta E total is equal to delta E electronic plus delta E vibrational plus delta E rotational, which is in joules, right? And if we write this energies in per centimeter unit, so we can write delta E total is equal to delta E electronic plus delta E vibrational plus delta E rotational, that is in per centimeter unit. So in spectroscopy we generally use the per centimeter unit. So the approximate magnitude of these changes in the energies are of the order. So this delta E electronic is nearly equal to delta E vibrational into 10 raised to 3, which is nearly equal to delta E rotational into 10 raised to 6. That means the changes in the rotational energy levels are much smaller as compared to the electronic energy levels. So the vibrational changes, they produce the core structure, and the rotational changes, they will produce the fine structure in the molecular spectra of a diatomic molecule. So we can see that the vibrational changes produce a core structure and rotational changes produce fine structure of the electronic transitions. So in the previous lectures, we have studied the pure rotational spectra, right? So there we discussed that the pure rotational spectra are shown only by the molecules having a permanent electrical dipole moment, right? And the vibrational spectra requires the change of dipole moment during the motion, right? So if the molecule possesses a permanent electric dipole moment, then it can show the rotational spectra. And if during the vibrations, if there is change in the dipole moment of the molecule, then that molecule will show the vibrational spectra. And we know that the electronic spectra, they are given by all the molecules, since the changes in the electronic distribution of the molecule always accompanied by the dipole change, right? So that means this spectra is shown only when the molecule possesses a permanent electrical dipole moment. This spectra is shown by molecules having change in the dipole moment during the transition, and the pure electronic spectra is shown by all the molecules that we know, right? So this means that the homonuclear molecules such as S2 or N2, which shows no rotation or vibration rotational spectra, but they do give the electronic spectrum and show the vibrational and rotational structure in their spectra, from which rotational constant and bond vibrational frequencies may be derived. So let us study the vibrational core structure, right? So vibrational core structure is observed when there is change in the dipole moment during the transition. That means the diatomic molecule, when it undergoes electronic transitions, there will be change in the dipole moment, and that dipole moment change causes the vibrational energy levels in the molecule, right? And during the transitions, there will be transitions between different vibrational energy levels corresponding to each electronic level, right? And therefore we get a vibrational core structure that appear in the electronic spectrum of the molecule, right? And thus we ignore the rotational term in this equation, and therefore we can write delta E total is equal to delta E electronic plus delta E vibrational. So here we are considering only the vibrational energy levels in association with the electronic energy levels. So we are ignoring the rotational changes, right? So we can write this equation in per centimeter unit. So delta E total is equal to delta E electronic plus delta E vibrational, that is in per centimeter unit. And the equation for energy in per centimeter, we can write E nu is equal to nu plus half omega bar E minus nu plus half square omega bar E Xe, right? So this equation we have seen in the previous lecture. So this in this equation, the first term corresponds to the harmonic oscillator, right? So this first term corresponds to the harmonic oscillator, and the second term is added due to the unharmonic nature of the diatomic molecule, right? So this omega E bar is an equilibrium oscillation frequency of the unharmonic system, right? And Xe is the corresponding unharmonicity constant, right? So this term is added. So in the case of harmonic oscillator, we have seen omega bar oscillation frequency, right? Where nu is the vibrational quantum number, and it takes values from 0, 1, 2, 3 up to infinity, right? So the energy levels of this equation we can plot, right? So let us plot the energy levels, right? So we have two electronic energy levels. The lower one is E double prime E electronic, and upper one is E prime electronic, right? So we have two electronic energy levels, and the lower states we distinguish them by double prime, and upper states they will carry only a single prime, right? So we distinguish these two energy levels by double prime and single prime. So double prime means the lower energy level, and the single prime means the upper energy level, right? Now corresponding to each electronic levels, we have different vibrational levels shown by the vibrational quantum numbers, right? So corresponding to these electronic levels, we have different vibrational energy levels. So we use the quantum numbers nu double prime is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, and nu prime is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 corresponds to the vibrational energy levels, right? So this nu double prime is for lower level, right? So lower electronic level we have the different vibrational levels, and upper electronic level also we have different vibrational levels, right? So we have distinguished them by nu double prime and nu prime. So nu is the quantum number or vibrational quantum number, right? So in this diagram, the spacing between the upper vibration level is shown to be rather smaller than that between the lower. This is the normal situation, right? Since the excited electronic state usually corresponds to a weaker bond in the molecule, and hence a smaller vibrational wave number, and therefore we get the spacing between these levels that is smaller compared to these levels. In the case of electronic states in the atoms, we have seen some selection rules for the transitions, but here there are no selection rule for nu when the molecule undergoes an electronic transition. That means when the molecule undergoes transition from lower level to higher level, there are selection rules, but there are no selection rules for transitions between different nu levels, right? So therefore every nu double prime to nu prime transition has some probability, and therefore several spectral lines are expected to appear in the spectrum, right? So we will consider the simple case, right? So here we consider the absorption spectrum from the electronic ground state, so that means from this level. So in this case we consider virtually all the molecules exist in the vibrational ground state. That means all the molecules, they will exist in the nu double prime equal to 0 level, right? And all the transitions are from this level to any vibrational level of the upper electronic state. We can show these transitions, right? They will appear with the appreciable intensity. We will show them here, right? So we get different spectral lines that originate from this nu double prime is equal to 0. That means the vibrational ground state, right? So from this transition we get different vibrational transitions to the upper electronic levels, right? So with different vibrational quantum numbers or different levels, right? And these transitions we can show on the spectrum also. So for the convenience we use the numbers nu prime comma nu double prime to represent these transitions, right? So these numbers we can see that the first one is the upper state, right? So in this case the first one is the upper state and second one is the lower state, right? So we use 0 0 to mark this transition. That means nu double prime to nu prime transition, right? So this transition we mark with upper transition 0 and lower 1, right? To mark this transition from nu double prime equal to 0 to nu prime is equal to 1, we write it 1 comma 0. For this transition from 0 to 2 we mark it 2 comma 0. For this transition from 0 to 3 we mark it with 3 comma 0, right? And likewise, that means we write nu prime comma nu double prime. That means the upper vibrational level first, right? So upper quantum number first and then lower quantum number. So each transition, right? So this set of transitions corresponding to the we can say the transition from any vibration level to different vibrational levels of the upper electronic state are called as band, right? So this is a band. Since under low resolution each line of the set appears somewhat broad and diffuse and is more particularly called as nu prime progression, right? So why it is called as nu prime progression? Since the value of nu prime increases by unity for each line in the set, and therefore we call it nu prime progression. So we have this set, and in this set the value of nu prime is changed by unity, right? So it is increased by unity and therefore we call it nu prime progression, right? So the diagram shows that the lines in a band crowd together more closely at high frequencies. This is the direct consequence of the unharmonicity of the upper state vibration, which cause the excited vibrational level to converge. So this is the vibrational cause structure, right? So for the electronic plus vibration transition, we have the change in the total energy as delta E total is equal to delta E electronic plus delta E vibration, that is in per centimeter. And therefore the analytical expression for the spectra can be written as the wave number for the spectra we write is nu bar spectra, which is equal to E prime minus E double prime. So E prime corresponds to the upper electronic state, and so E double prime corresponding to lower electronic state, right? So this equation is for vibration spectra of the diatomic molecule. So since nu prime is upper level, right? So nu prime is represent the upper level. That means the vibrational spectra, or we can say the vibrational levels for the upper state, right? And this equation is for vibrational levels for the lower electronic state, right? So nu double prime. So more than 6 lines can be observed in a particular band, and from them the values of omega bar prime E and x prime E and omega double prime bar E and x double prime E can be calculated, right? So thus by observing a band system, it will give us information not only the about the vibrational ground state, but it will give us information about the excited state also. That means it is not giving the values of vibrational frequency and unharmonicity constant about the ground state, but also it gives the information of these parameters for the excited electronic state also, right? And therefore such a information is very valuable information, right? Because the excited molecules remain there for very short period of time, and therefore the band spectrum is useful, or that gives us a very valuable information about the strength of the bond in the molecule, right? So therefore this vibrational core structure is very important. So in summary, we have learned about the vibrational core structure of a diatomic molecule, and we have studied different progressions, right? So in the next lecture, we'll study the Frank Kundal principle. Thank you.